I was a kid when the commercial internet first came out, and my dad cautioned me for my own safety to never use my real name or tell anybody who I really was. I would always sign up for services online with the name of one of my video game characters, my gamer tag. I still haven't fully migrated off the Gmail I signed up with that name. That anonymity was a boon. When I was playing an online game, people didn't immediately know that I was just some immature kid. They had to wait a few minutes until I said something immature before they realized that. A lot of times, women and girls get harassed online, but if one of them is playing a video game and uses a generic name and a male character, then other people will treat them just like they treat me. There's something very meritocratic about that. When you're wearing a disguise, people have no choice but to judge you for your actions. And of course, it's not just about games. I work in tech, and some big tech companies mask the names on resumes because of some studies that white-sounding names and male-sounding names are more likely to get an interview, even when those names are attached to the very same resumes. Unsurprising that some of my friends who were women of color had a much harder time than me getting their first job out of college. After all, most companies use your real name, and they'll probably look at your LinkedIn too, which has a picture on it. Anonymous freedom was one of the promises of the early internet, and it didn't really start to change until Facebook came around and started telling people they had to use their real names. I was actually at Google when they started working on the ill-fated Google+, and one of the big controversies then was that Google was following suit with strict requirements on names. They required a first and a last name, so people like Madonna couldn't even sign up until they let her put in a period as her last name. The superstar, Madonna . We had a petition going around called Real Names Considered Harmful, talking about things like dead naming of trans people, talking about how important pseudonyms were for activists in the Arab Spring, talking about how one person's disguise is another person's safety and identity. But we know that anonymity isn't all meritocracy and social change. When I was in high school, I was part of underground paper. The paper started out anonymous, but one of the students in the year before me used their anonymity to badmouth one of the school administrators, so the school figured out who was who. And in my year, we still used pseudonyms, but the administrators all knew who we were. Sure, there's cyberbullying and hate speech online, but it's not just online that people use a disguise as an excuse to be a jerk. Anonymity gives certain freedom to be yourself and have fun, or freedom to harm without consequence. That's what trick-or-treating's all about, right? Give candy to the superhero at your door, or under cover of night, a masked villain might egg your house. Happy Halloween, everybody. Make sure to bring plenty of sweets for all the ghouls and goblins out there.